Hi, everybody, and welcome to Teaching Tip Tuesday, brought to you by the Center for Inclusive Teaching and Learning here at UWSP. As educators, we do a lot to foster the academic development of our students. We carefully plan content and activities in our courses to help students build their knowledge and skills. But in spite of our best efforts, a lot of students seem to fall through the cracks. They don't thrive in our classrooms, even though all indications are that they're capable, they just don't shine. These students often don't persist at university. Many of these students feel like outsiders and that they just don't belong. This week, I'd like to explore why attention to students' sense of belonging is important and some of the reasons that students feel they don't belong. Having a sense of belonging is important. It's a basic human need to feel that other people care about you, that you're accepted, respected, and valued by others. It's directly related to student engagement in courses and university life, student success, and student retention at the university. So, if we really want students to thrive, we need to understand why some don't feel that they belong here. It seems that people are always actively monitoring their physical and social environments through the lens of their unique identities and experiences. They're constantly assessing how comfortable they are in an environment and whether or not they belong. The conclusions they reach are based on both extrinsic factors in the environment and intrinsic factors that are related to their unique identities and experiences. This makes it hard to predict how any particular student will view their belongingness. The exact same situation may be interpreted very differently by different people. I'll talk about some of the intrinsic barriers to belonging in another video. For now, I'll focus on the extrinsic barriers. Extrinsic factors affecting students' sense of belonging are often related to the cultural climate in courses and departments. Often we make assumptions about the individual contexts our students inhabit, from what they should have learned in high school to what other life factors they might have competing for their time and energies. This can lead us to organize our courses in ways that are alienating to specific groups of students. A large number of historical factors have led to problems with representation of various demographics in specific disciplines. Lack of diversity within a discipline can make it difficult for students to see themselves as belonging. Finally, there can be strong cultural stereotypes about who belongs in particular disciplines, stereotypes that frame both faculty understanding and the understanding of other students. For example, in many STEM disciplines, women often feel excluded, and cultural biases against women doing math or hard science may be a barrier to them. Although systemic issues may exist in some environments, individual educators can still make progress toward rectifying barriers to belonging in their courses and departments. It's important to consider who your course might be alienating and how. For example, first-generation students may not feel welcome when we don't take the time to explain vital details, including our expectations for student engagement and work, the function and purpose of rubrics, what office hours are, and what supplementary services are available to help students improve their classroom performance. We can reduce this barrier to belonging by making a better effort to stop assuming that students know and by explaining everything, not just course content. Non-traditional and working students may feel alienated when you've mandated attendance at extracurricular events like guest lectures that occur outside of class time. They may also be alienated by overly strict attendance and late assignment policies that don't take into account the unique challenges faced by those who are at the mercy of employers or parents who are subject to the whims of childhood illnesses. Remaining flexible and accepting that one size does not fit all when it comes to policies can help non-traditional students feel seen and connected to you and to your course. Members of historically marginalized populations are especially vulnerable, as many instructors don't consider culturally responsive pedagogy. The prevalence of individualistic rather than collective focus may alienate those from more collectivist cultures. Being aware of how cultural differences affect the approach to academic work and accommodating different approaches to learning can increase the sense of belonging for students who identify with historically marginalized populations. Many are surprised to find that men may feel alienated in certain disciplines, especially those traditionally dominated by women like early childhood education or nursing. There may be compounded effects of lack of representation and cultural stereotypes. It's worth considering men's sense of belonging, since men are graduating at much lower rates nationwide than women. Finally, language use can create barriers to belonging. First, many instructors insist that students conform to a specific type of language use in all assignments. However, regionalized dialects and accents are often deeply tied to individual identities. When word use patterns that differ from standard English are treated as inferior in all contexts, the message transmitted is that the identity associated with a dialect is inferior. This is something that clearly impedes students' sense of belonging. You can mitigate this effect by allowing colloquial language in some circumstances and not nitpicking grammar unless it's essential to the learning outcome that you're trying to impart. The key with controlling the external factors that affect students' sense of belonging is to be attentive to how students are responding and to take their concerns into consideration as you move forward. Be sensitive and attentive, and above all, talk with your students. Keeping an open dialogue of respect goes a long way to establishing a relationship where students feel seen and valued. Working toward fostering a sense of belonging for your students is an important step toward improving student success. By mindful attentiveness to your course climate, you can help facilitate student belonging. And that's this week's teaching tip, brought to you by the Center for Inclusive Teaching and Learning here at UWSP, your one-stop shop for teaching support. Visit our website to schedule a consultation for help with course design, learning activities, assessment, or pedagogy.